All right, I want to bring your attention back again to Job chapter 1 and 2. I know we've been in 1 and 2 for a while now. We're going to move on. Don't worry. It's going to happen. Hasn't happened yet, though. All right, so I want you to look back at Job, at the end of Job 1, at the end of Job 2. Right? At the end of Job 1, Satan has just taken everything away from Job. And Job, he falls on the ground. He shaves his head. He puts on, he rips up his clothes and he puts on sackcloth, like a bag, I guess. And he lays down he sits down in the ashes. Right? Apparently there's a fire nearby. All right, so he is in full visible distress. You can tell. You can look at that guy and be like, something's wrong with that guy. At the end of chapter 2, Satan has now attacked Job's body. His skin is covered in these boils. He breaks a jar and he's scraping his own skin away, okay? That's harsh and awful. Job's friends show up and they see him and they don't recognize him, okay? That's how bad Job is, okay? Job is so in distress. He is emotionally in distress. He is physically in distress. He is almost a broken man. And I say almost because when you look at Job's words, you realize this guy isn't broken yet, right? At the end of chapter 1 and at the end of chapter 2, Job says some really clear, wise words, right? He says, the Lord has given and the Lord has taken away. He says, naked I came from my mother's womb, naked I will return. May the name of the Lord be praised. He sits down in the ashes and he worships God. When his wife tells him to curse God and die, he says, shall we take good from God and not evil, right? And at the end of both chapters, the author states, in all this, Job did not sin. All right? So Job is this incredible mixture of falling apart on one hand and holding it together on the other. And that's pretty amazing. Job is not a man that God has put in the Bible so that we pattern our lives after him. So I'm not saying be like Job in every way, but I am saying there's something amazing going on here and we should figure out, how does Job do that? How does he have such a great tragedy come on his life and yet hold it together, at least in part, all right? I think what Job does is really good. The fact that he shows his emotional distress is very real and very honest. I think sometimes Christians feel like they should always just be, totally level, totally cool all the time, no matter what's happening, because we have God on our side. And in a way, there's something to that. We talk about being joyful in trials, and that's real. Being joyful at all times, that's a real thing. We should be joyful at all times because we always can know that God is there and that he's stronger than our trouble. However, that does not mean be happy at all times. Right? Jesus said, blessed are those who mourn. You see Jesus himself weep when Lazarus dies. You see Jesus get really angry in the temple. He makes a whip and whips people. You see God do the same thing. God, in the Old Testament, he sorrows for his people, and he also gets really angry when they do wrong, okay? So sorrow, anger, mourning, all those feelings are totally good. They're not good to have all the time, obviously, but they are appropriate and good. When sadness happens in your life, there's something wrong with you if you don't also experience sadness. When something evil is happening in the world, there's something wrong with you if you don't get mad at it. Christians who try to keep it placid, to stay stoic at all times, are missing out on the life that God has made for them. He's made us to react. He's given us these passions so that when we see something wrong in the world, that we then address it. That's what he does. And we need to be like him, okay? So I really like that Job responds, that he mourns, that he tears his robes and puts on the sackcloth, and he hates the boils. In this way, he is a total mess. But he also has these words of such great gravity, and he just stays focused on God, and he doesn't lose his mind at all. How does he do that? I think Job shows us something in his heart by the way he responds. I think he shows us where his hope is, and that makes a big difference. okay? You kind of know where I'm going with this, but I want you to think it out, okay? Most things that we have can be taken away. Obviously our health, our belongings, our jobs, our station in life, that can all be taken away. A meteor could fall from the sky and life could just change for us immediately before this lesson is over, right? We've heard that said before. Put your hope, put your heart in any of those things, and you basically are elevating that thing to God's status in your life. You're making it into something that is meant to carry you, and it's likely to fail, right? If you, let's just say you have this amazing relationship with your mom. I hope you do, but let's just say you do, and you know that you love your mom, and if anything happened to your mom, you would just be destroyed. There'd be nothing of you left, all right? Is it good for you to love your mom? Yes. Is it good for you to have your hope in your mom? I'm going to go with pretty much no, right? That is not how God made you live, and he didn't make your mom strong enough to be that for you, because she can be taken away. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it hasn't happened to you yet. It's probably going to happen one day, right? She can be taken away. And when that happens, if you are just going to be a shell of a human, if there's going to be nothing to you left, then that shows you that even though loving your mom is a good thing, you actually can love her too much, or at least put too much of your heart into her. Okay, so I want you to think about the different things in your life. Obviously, you have family. I hope that you have some friends. Friends are very important. You probably have some things that are really important to you. If you're a photographer, maybe your camera is really important to you. If you just talk to your friends all the time, maybe your phone's really important to you. If you're an artist, maybe you've got the charcoal set or the paint set or whatever. If you're a writer, it's your diary. Whatever. Important thing. Think about that. Think about other things you might have. You might have a position of authority or an ability. Maybe you're an athlete and you're just fast, right? Or maybe you have an amazing skill in some area, or maybe you have an amazing mind and you just you can take in information, categorize it, and put it back out in such a way that you're going to be a lawyer or an engineer or someone who just works their mind for the rest of their lives. That's cool. Go through that list again. And imagine how you would respond if systematically, one by one, those things were taken away. Your family's taken away. Should you be sad? Yes. Should you be broken? Yes. Should you be broken all the way? No. What if your mind was taken away? What if your legs were taken away? What if your friends were taken away? What if your ability to speak was taken away? What if your influence over people was taken away? Would any of those things, upon being taken away, leave you with nothing? Would you be crushed all the way? I remember when I was in high school, I loved God, I was a Christian, and I remember thinking, God, you can do anything you want with me. You can send me to another country. You can give me any kind of burden. You can give me any kind of responsibility. I will bear it. But please, don't take my legs. I loved soccer. I loved playing soccer. I just absorbed it. For a couple years, that was my whole life was soccer. I remember thinking, if God takes this away from me, there will be nothing left. Is there something like that in your life? If so, it's time to really rethink where your hope is. Because if your hope is in something that can be taken away, if that thing were then taken away, you would be totally crushed. However, if your hope is in God, God is untakeawayable, right? He's not going to get old. He's not going to get cancer. He's not going to be in a car accident. He's not going to get lost. He's not going to change his mind about you. He's eternal in a way that nothing else is eternal, right? If your hope is in God, not just because he's worth it, because he is, but also because like he's undamageable. If your hope is in God, not only is God undamageable, but in a way, and this is a small way, but in a way, so are you. Like when you put your hope in God, in a way, you become a little bit invincible, right? You become a little bit, just like Job was, right? When terrible things happened to him, did he express his sorrow? Yes. Did he mourn? Absolutely. Was he broken in almost every way? Yes. Broken emotionally? Yes. Broken physically. In some way, maybe even broken mentally, but not totally broken because his hope was in God and no one could take that away. Satan couldn't take that away. Job's friends, his family that kind of went bonkers, they couldn't take it away. And you can see the difference. Look at Job's wife. Where was Job's wife's hope? Not in God. When her kids were taken away, she was totally broken. There's nothing left. You look at Job's words to her. He's like, you're speaking like one of the foolish women. That means that wasn't her way before. She used to be one of the wise women. And now that's gone. That person that he knew is gone because her hope wasn't in the right place. She couldn't handle this. But Job did. And I want to be able to handle anything that may be taken away. This is 2020. It's the year of the coronavirus. People are dying from this thing all over the world. And if you live, I don't know where you might live, but in America, like this country is in bad shape. It's been in bad shape before, so I hope it's going to be fine, but it's in bad shape right now. We have racial tension and we have political tension. We have like so much tension. Everybody's so angry. Like really, anything could happen, right? Anything in my life could be taken away really soon. And so this isn't just like an exercise in my mind. This is a preparation for reality. And I want you to be prepared for reality too. I want you to go through that list of people, things, skills in your life. Imagine them being taken away. Kind of evaluate how you would respond to that. And if one of those things would destroy you completely, I need you to make a plan to replace your hope. And it's not just something you can just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll put my hope in God. Like that takes some soul searching and some retraining, probably some changing of some habits in your life. It might mean kind of like divorcing yourself from that thing to some extent. You don't want to do that totally if it's your family or whatever, but you got to figure out how to take your heart away from that thing or that person in your life and to place it on God because he's the only one who can handle it. It's really important. Hope that makes sense. Instructions down below on how I'd like you to respond. I hope you have a great day. I hope that you lose nothing today. I hope that it's one of those days that you can just get to the end of it and be like, oh, that was a really good day. I made some really good decisions. I had some really important thoughts. That was good. I want to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. See you later.